Hello everybody, welcome back to Free America. Thanks for stopping by. Today I've got a real treat for us. Wrapped up in this silver foil is an unissued M6 bayonet for the M14 rifle. So this is a pretty interesting piece of equipment, so let's take a look at it. Let's see if I can... Yeah, this was probably some manufacturer's sticker. There we go. Wrapped up in moisture resistant paper. Move that stuff out of the way for now. So let's take a look at what we have here. So there she is. There's your M6 bayonet. Parkerized, applied plastic grips. If you remember my video on the M5 bayonet, you'll notice that the M5 bayonet, which has a similar lock like this, right, and almost identical here, except for a little stop. I don't know if you can see that here or not. There's a little stop right there. The M5 and the M5A1 don't have that. The M14, or excuse me, the M6 Bayonet does have it. So the other difference is the ring, right? Obviously the M5 doesn't have that ring. But if you lay the two down side by side, the only difference that really jumps out at you is the ring. So let me see if I can. Can you see that? It says US M6 and Milpar. So there were only 3 manufacturers of M6 bayonets. Milpar, Imperial, which you're familiar with because they made a lot of different knives and bayonets for the US military, and a company called Ariel, which also made a couple of different knives and bayonets for the US military. So here in this bag, which I'm not going to open, is the M5A1 scabbard, packed by the Atlantic Textile Corporation in June of 1977. As you can see, it's got a tie-down lanyard. You can't see the markings on the throat through the plastic, but I prefer to have, you know, at least 1 or 2 brand new in the wrapper so that nobody has any doubt that they're brand new. But the interesting thing about the M6 bayonet is that it was actually produced, or not produced, but tested and approved before the M14 was tested and approved. Initially, back in the late 50s, I think in 1958, they called this the T12. And then later, when the M14 went into production, they put out, you know, contracts for the M6. The early ones are very, very rare, and they are faked a lot, so you must be very careful. But if you own an M14 or an M1A, and you'd like to have a bayonet for it, these bayonets are out there, they're available. You can usually pick one up in this kind of condition for under $100. There's a whole bunch of used ones out there as well. So you can see where the end of the tang is pinned to the pommel. Right, 2 screws. There's your lock. Ooh, stiff as hell on this one, of course, because it's dry. It's been packed away since 1977. And the parkerizing on it is dry, dry, dry. So now that I've taken it out and touched it, I probably need to hit it with an oily rag, slightly oily rag, just to make sure it doesn't deteriorate on me. But there you have it, boys and girls. Believe it or not, this is the second video that I've made today. I don't think I've ever made 2 videos on the same day before. Maybe I have. If I have, I don't remember. But this is the M6 bayonet for the M14 rifle and for the M1A rifle. Tell me what you think. For you guys out there that have M14s and M1As, or for you Vietnam era veterans that may have actually used and carried this knife, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. But essentially, as you can tell, just like with the M5 bayonet and the M4 bayonet, it has the same blade that the US military began using, the same style, right? Double edged to here. That began with the M3 fighting knife in 1943. So here we are, 1977, when this bayonet was packed away, still using that blade. And this is the M6, so they'll use that blade through the M7, which was used well into the 80s and early 90s. I was issued an M7 bayonet with my M16A1 long time ago. So I think it's really neat that the U.S. military has maintained that tradition that long. Of course, now the M9 bayonet is nothing like it. It's so big and bulky. We'll do a video about that one too. But thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you think it sucks, give me a thumbs down. I would love to have your comments, or share this with other people that you know who are bayonet collectors. And God bless America. Thanks for joining me.